Hello! Today I'm going to be making a very quick and easy skirt for Halloween. I'm excited to share this with you. It's a very easy skirt, and I think you should all make one for Halloween as well because it's right around the corner. So without further ado, here we go. Okay, I have cut my panels out. I'm doing 3 panels, and I am just going to sew the side seams together and leave an opening in the back, gather it up, and then I'm going to use my extra fabric to make a waistband. This fabric was, I want to say 40 inches, 42 inches, whatever the kind of like quilting cotton width is. So that's why I wanted to do 3 panels to give it some fullness. And then, so I'm probably going to have to make my waistband in 2, so I might have it close on the side. I have to decide about that, but because the width of the fabric is not enough for my waist. So let's get going. So when you cut your waistband out, you want to make it 3 inches wide. I'm not sure if this is quite 3 inches because I didn't measure, I just eyeballed it, but you want to have enough so that you can, so, you know, whatever your preferred seam allowance is to the skirt, and then fold it over and have enough to fold over and still have a waistband. So you can make the waistband whatever width you want. If you want like a wide waistband or you want a really narrow one, that's up to you. But you want to cut it out to your waist measurement and then add a couple of inches for, I would say add 1.5 inches on each side for overlap and for turning under, so that you have enough to overlap when you put your closures on. I'm going to use skirt hooks and bars. You could do button, you could do a snap, you could do an elastic waistband if you wanted for this, or you could make a drawstring waistband, whatever makes you happy for your skirt. So I'm just doing a very simple folded over waistband with a skirt hook and bar for the closure. So I'm just going to cut off some of this because this is way too long, but I needed more width for the waistband. Probably going to use some interfacing for this as well. Right, I'm going to get my skirt panels sewn together. I'm just going to, I cut them, I did the full width of the fabric on 3 pieces, and I made them 32 inches long. That's how long I wanted, but the length of your skirt is of course up to you. Depends if you want a maxi skirt, a midi skirt, a mini skirt, a kneeling skirt, whatever. So you want to measure that on yourself, like how long you want your skirt to be. And so I picked 32 inches for no particular reason. I didn't want like a floor length skirt, but I wanted a longer skirt. So that's what I picked. And yeah, I'm going to sew my sides together. It's all on the selvage, so I don't have to finish those edges on the inside. You could if you wanted to. If you had wider fabric and you didn't want to use a full width or whatever, you'd want to finish your raw edges by doing a zigzag, by doing a serge edge, or by, if you want to do hand sewing, with a hand stitch, by felling them. But again, totally up to you. Using the selvage is very quick because you don't have to finish those edges. Make sure I don't do anything upside down. So pay attention to your direction of your pattern if you're using a patterned fabric. So for my opening, I'm going to leave about 8 inches open. And again, I am just eyeballing this. As long as you can get it either over your head or over your hips, you're all good. And that's totally dependent on you and your particular measurements or your shape. So this works for anyone. I took a lot of my pins home because I was doing some sewing at home, and I'm woefully low on straight pins at the moment. We will do our best. Okay, all of my skirt panels are sewn together. I'm going to attach the waistband now, and I'm going to do a pleated skirt for this. I just like the way pleats look. You could just as easily, or perhaps easierly, not a word, just as easily you could gather it by sewing 2 lines of straight stitches along the waistline on your longest stitch length. So for me, that would be a 4 when I usually sew at a 2.5. So you could gather it and then pull those gathering stitches and to fit to the waistband. That's a super easy and pretty quick way to attach a skirt to a waistband, especially a skirt with a large circumference. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pleat. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started with my pleats. Now, I am not going to measure my pleats. I'm not going to do math and figure out exactly how many pleats I need to fit my waistband evenly. I'm just going to eyeball it. So let's do it. Okay, for these pleats, to pleat onto the waistband, if you want to do pleats, so you're going to take the end of your waistband and I'm going to go ahead and fold over the edge of the opening, and this is just the seam allowance. And you could do a double fold if you didn't use the selvage, but I used the selvage here, so I'm just going to leave the selvage edge, and then I'll just sew that down to keep it in place. But I'm going to attach my waistband. And make sure that it's right side up when I do that. So I'm going to fold over the edge of the waistband as well. And I'm just going to put a pin there, and then I'll pin the other side exactly the same. And then I'm just going to start pleating. I'll do just regular old knife pleats, and I'll have the pleats facing towards the opening. So we'll just do a pleat. Just like that. Fold that over, put a pin in, and we'll do the whole skirt that way. All right, I have sewn my waistband on. So now I'm just going to fold it over and then cover the raw edges. And I'm not sure if I'm going to just whip stitch it down by hand or if I'm going to just do it on the machine. Probably the machine, but who knows? The fancy might take me to do it by hand. We shall see. Alright, my skirt is nearly done. I am doing just a very simple double folded hem, doing that on the machine. My waistband is on, and then I'll need to put a skirt hook and bar, and then we'll be all done. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't, and if you'd like to be notified whenever I upload, you can hit that little bell icon. To support the channel further, I have a Ko-fi account, and that is linked down below. Again, thank you so much, and I will see you on our next sewing adventure. Bye!